Happy Saturday, AP GoPo. This is Mr. Alvarez here to explain our mock Congress simulation, specifically your player cards. Let's just go ahead and dive in. This is a player card. Your player card will have some very important information that you need to review on your own to be successful for the simulation. Essentially, it tells you which political party you belong to and what state you represent. So for example, right here, this is a California player card, and they are a Democrat. You are also given a candidate bio, that's on the left-hand side. It tells you your political ideology. In this case, this is a liberal who is a Democrat, and it tells you some of your stances regarding some broad topics. So for example, in foreign policy, this Democrat would spend less money on the military and is not really willing to commit troops overseas. And regarding immigration, this Democrat believes that the country must pass some immigration reform, but they favor citizenship for dreamers and to increase legal immigration from current levels. So this is just pretty much a review of what liberals versus what conservatives believe, what Democrats versus Republicans, what they believe. Please go ahead and read your textbook pages 210 and 271. It will give you a better understanding as to the role you're playing, whether you're a Democrat who is liberal versus moderate versus a Republican who is more conservative than not. Your player card will also give you a grade breakdown and what is called your legislative priorities. This simulation is worth a formative assessment grade. Everyone will be graded on this 20-point rubric scale to the right. It's a collection of points. If you want an A+ for the simulation, you have to collect 20 out of 20 points. The cutoff is at least 10 out of 20. That is a C-. Every point that is less than 10 is a failing grade. So the question is, how does one become successful in this congressional simulation? How does one earn these points? You do it by committing some legislative actions, whether it's sponsoring legislation yourself, or aka writing bills, co-sponsoring legislation, aka supporting someone else's bill, speaking in committee, and that can be either speaking for or against a bill or marking it up, which is changing a bill as its current form. You get points by doing a floor speech, and anytime your bill passes a stage of how a bill becomes a law, you earn additional points for that. Let's go and look at this player card more in depth to see how this Democrat would be successful in the game. So it starts off with a little congratulations for winning your district or state, depending on what part of the simulation we're in. And it lets you know a couple of the promises you made to your constituents back home. So for this Democrat, their number one concern is gun control, their second is criminal justice, and their third is some type of climate change. So what I had done in this game is I wanted to make sure everyone can be successful for everything that is within their control. As long as you're able to do all the necessary tasks that you do have control in, you should be able to earn at least, at a minimum, 13 out of 20 points, which is a B-. So let me explain. When I say introduce legislation that would ban assault weapons, that doesn't necessarily mean that the bill will pass. Your bill can die, but you wrote a bill that deals with banning assault weapons. For some of you, you'll have a link. For example, there is a link here to actual legislation that was passed in Congress regarding an assault weapons ban, and this one was in 1994. So it gives you an example as to how bills are written. You can take a look to see the specific form it follows, which is the same form you would follow in your bill. That's 1 point. And again, that's 1 point for just writing a bill. So in this case, if you wrote a bill to ban assault weapons, if you wrote a bill that would end mandatory sentencing for crack cocaine related crimes, and if you were to write a bill regarding the Green New Deal, that is 3 points. Still off from a B, but let's continue to see how you can still obtain that B. Creating a bill of your choice is another point, and that's pretty much anything you want. It can be regarding any topic that you care about, and I recommend to really rely heavily on creating bills that are not controversial, bills that you can get passed in Congress. Even though you really feel that we should ban assault weapons, doesn't mean you have support in Congress to do so. So even though I only focus on 3, or I recommend 3 bills to write, if you want to be successful in this game, you should write a lot of bills regarding a lot of different topics. And this is that bullet that can help you. But let's say you only write 1 bill. That's your own choice. So far you rated 1, 2, 3, 4 bills. That's 4 points. If you do all that, you get an additional 2-point bonus. That is 6 points. Okay? Now, if you co-sponsor someone else's bill, pretty much saying that you agree to support it, you put your name on it, and you'll vote for it, that's an additional point. I limit that to 1. That's 7. If you co-sponsor any legislation that matches any one of your priorities, that's 2 points. Meaning this. Let's say that your assault weapons ban, you introduce it but it fails, but you co-author or co-sponsor someone else's bill from that's maybe it's a little different. That can give you 2 points. All you have to do is just name the bill here that the other person had written. So far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 points. You get your additional points by talking in the simulation, specifically committee time. Everyone will have the ability to talk in committee. That's within your control. You would be speaking for or against the bill. You would be presenting reasons why. Or you can suggest markups or changes to bills that you guys are discussing and reviewing. That's 2 points right there, and I limit it to 2, making it 4 in total. That's how you can get your 13-point B-. Keep in mind that everything past committee is pretty much out of your control. For example, floor debate. If you're in the minority party in the House of Representatives, there's no guarantee that any Democratic House Speaker will let you talk regarding a bill. So that's out of your control. And given the Rules Committee places limitations on debate time, even if the House Speaker wanted to have every Democrat talk about it, more likely they won't. You can produce an earmark for appropriation bills. That's only if an appropriation bill comes up. If you have no idea what I just talked about, please review Chapter 11 and please look at your glossary to look at appropriation bills or the budget process. If your bill makes it out of committee, that means it goes to the floor debate. That's 4 points automatically and it limits to 3. So right there you can earn an A. If your bill makes it out of one chamber but dies in another, that's still 7 points. If your bill makes it out of both chambers and goes to conference, that's 14 points. And if any of your bills becomes a law, that's a 20-point automatic A. Thus, as you can see, attaining an A is very possible, but you have to make many deals. Like I said in class, the majority of this simulation will be conducted outside of the classroom time, making deals, being political, and making sure that you're in good standing with anybody who has a leadership role. I will post another video later to talk about leadership roles, specifically House Speaker, majority and minority leaders, whips, and committee chairs. And I will post another subsequent video that talks about wild cards, but that will be introduced at a different time. Thank you.